Ambassador Malik Thompson straightens his uniform and looks around the huge circular room where aliens from across the galaxy gather to talk politics. The place is loud with strange sounds, crystal creatures clicking their sharp fingers, lizard-like beings making soft hissing noises, and bird people chirping in their musical language. Next to him, Commander Keisha Washington types notes on her electronic pad, carefully writing down every complaint the aliens make against humanity. Malik has been sitting here for 3 whole hours, just listening. And boy, do these aliens have complaints. They're angry about human mining operations in the far edges of space. They don't like how humans are growing food on planets they think should stay empty. They're upset about new trade routes humans have opened. Every time an alien speaks, they sound like angry parents scolding a naughty child, not like they're talking to equals. The room feels thick with tension. These aliens have been complaining for months, and they keep getting bolder with their demands. They seem to think humans are pushovers because Earth's diplomats always listen politely and promise to think about their concerns. A tall, blue-skinned creature named Veltar stands up. His people are called Zephyrians, and they sound like singing birds when they talk. But today his song sounds angry. Humans keep taking over space that doesn't belong to them, he says through his translation device. They act like they own the galaxy. Malik nods like he always does, keeping his face calm and friendly. Thank you for sharing your worries with us. I promise to tell the leaders back on Earth exactly what you said. Around the room, different alien species make sounds that might be satisfaction. Over the past year and a half, they've gotten used to how humans handle these meetings. Humans listen. Humans apologize. Humans promise to do better. They never fight back like other species do. They never make threats or pound their fists on tables. The aliens have started to think this means humans are weak. They whisper among themselves that Earth's people are too soft for real galactic politics. Some of the more aggressive species have begun testing humanity's limits, making bigger and bigger demands to see how far they can push. Commander Washington catches Malik's eye and taps her communication device twice, a signal they've used before. Something important is happening behind the scenes, but the aliens don't know it yet. A group of insect-like creatures called Vorthak start making clicking sounds with their crystal-hard shells. Their leader, a massive bug with diamond-bright eyes, speaks up. Human farming techniques damage soil that took millions of years to form, she complains. Your species shows no respect for natural balance. Again, Malik responds with patience. We understand your environmental concerns. Earth takes ecological protection very seriously, and will review our agricultural practices. What the aliens don't realize is that every complaint, every demand, and every insult has been carefully recorded and sent back to Earth. Human leaders have been watching this whole process, studying how other species behave when they think humans won't fight back. The room's air recycling system works harder as more aliens get excited. They can sense that something big is about to happen, but they think it means humanity is finally going to surrender to their demands. They think today is the day humans will agree to pull back from space, give up their colonies, and accept being treated as second-class citizens in their own galaxy. But Commander Washington knows something they don't. Her communication device has been receiving messages from Earth for weeks. The human government has been preparing for this moment, and today marks the end of an experiment that started 18 months ago. Malik continues to smile pleasantly, but something subtle changes in his eyes. The aliens are about to learn that human politeness was never the same thing as human weakness. The biggest alien in the room suddenly stands up. War Chief Darius of the Scarith people is absolutely massive, almost 9 feet tall with thick, scaly skin and muscles that could crush steel. His shadow falls across half the chamber floor as he rises to his full height. For months, his lizard-like species has been pushing humans harder and harder, testing to see how much they could get away with. Today, he thinks is about to deliver the final blow that will prove humans are nothing but weaklings. His voice is so deep and powerful that it shakes the floor. He doesn't even need the translation machines that other aliens use. The Scarith hegemony is taking control of New Geneva, he declares, using some old space law that most people forgot about years ago. All 40,000 humans living there will be moved to our processing centers for cultural education. The entire room goes dead silent. Every single alien delegate knows exactly what those words really mean. Cultural education and processing centers are just nice ways of saying slavery and death camps. These aren't terms you use when you want to help people, they're what you say when you want to destroy them. New Geneva isn't just any human planet. It's one of Earth's most successful farming worlds, where human families have been growing food for 3 whole generations. Grandparents, parents, and children all living together, working the same land their ancestors first planted. It represents everything humans have built in space: hope, hard work, and the dream of a better future. Every eye in the chamber turns to look at Ambassador Malik Thompson, waiting to see how he'll respond. They expect him to do what humans always do: ask for more meetings, suggest forming committees to study the problem, or maybe request extra time to negotiate. That's how humans have handled every challenge for the past year and a half. But something different happens. Something that makes the air in the room feel suddenly dangerous. Malik's face doesn't change much, but somehow everything about him seems different. His polite smile is still there, but now it looks like the expression a wolf might wear while watching sheep. Several alien species have survival instincts that suddenly start screaming warnings, even though they can't understand why. The room's environmental systems detect something strange. Stress chemicals are pouring into the air from dozens of different alien species all at once. Heart rates are spiking. Body temperatures are changing. It's like every creature in the chamber suddenly realized they might be in terrible danger, but they don't know from what. Commander Keisha Washington slowly closes her tablet computer. The soft clicking sound seems incredibly loud in the silent chamber. Her hand moves toward her communication device with careful, deliberate movements. She's not panicking or rushing, she's moving like someone who has been preparing for this exact moment. Malik speaks very quietly, his voice still conversational and friendly. "I see," he says, like someone who just heard an interesting piece of news. Well, that changes things considerably. But there's something in his tone that makes every alien in the room suddenly remember that humans are predators. Not prey animals like many species in the galaxy, but creatures who evolved by hunting other animals. For millions of years, humans survived by being smarter, more determined, and more dangerous than everything else on their planet. The Scarith war chief expected his announcement to make humans beg and surrender. Instead, he's looking at two humans who seem completely calm, almost relaxed. But that calmness feels wrong somehow, like the quiet moment before lightning strikes. Commander Washington's fingers hover over her communication controls. She's waiting for something, a signal, a command, or maybe just the right moment. Whatever message she's about to send, it's clear that people back on Earth have been expecting this conversation to happen. The alien delegates shift nervously in their seats. They came here thinking they would watch humanity's final defeat. Instead, they're starting to realize they might have just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. Malik's smile never wavers, but now it looks like something that belongs on a completely different kind of face. Ambassador Malik Thompson stands up very slowly, like he has all the time in the world. But there's something about the way he moves that makes several military officers from different alien species suddenly sit up straighter. His movements are too controlled, too precise. It reminds them of how big cats move just before they attack: smooth, calculated, and absolutely deadly. When Malik speaks, his voice still sounds polite and friendly, but somehow every alien in the room suddenly wants to look for the nearest exit. Their brains can't explain why, but ancient survival instincts are telling them to run. "I want to thank all of you," Malik begins, spreading his hands in a gesture that looks welcoming but feels threatening. "You've helped us complete a very interesting experiment about how humans should behave in space. For the past year and a half, we've been trying something new, handling all our galactic relationships with pure kindness and compromise." He stops talking and looks over at Commander Keisha Washington. She gives him the tiniest nod, so small that most aliens miss it completely. But it's clearly a signal they've been waiting for. "The experiment," Malik continues, his voice calm like a teacher explaining something to students, "has been a complete failure according to our leaders back on Earth. Starting right now, humanity is going back to our old ways of handling diplomacy." Something strange happens in the chamber. The lights don't actually get dimmer, but somehow the room feels darker. Computer readings show that nothing has changed, but the atmosphere feels heavy and dangerous. Multiple alien species start releasing smell chemicals that their bodies make when they are terrified, even though they don't consciously understand why they are so afraid. Several delegates start looking toward the exits, their bodies moving without their minds telling them to. It's like every non-human in the room suddenly remembers that they are sitting next to creatures who evolved as hunters. "You need to understand something about humans," Malik explains with the same patient tone a parent might use to teach a child about fire safety. "We spent about 12,000 years becoming the most efficient killers our planet had ever seen. We got so good at warfare that we nearly destroyed our entire world multiple times. We learned to be peaceful because we genuinely prefer it. It's much easier than the alternative." War Chief Darius, the massive Scarith leader, shifts uncomfortably in his seat. He's twice Malik's size and covered in natural armor, but something about the human's calm explanation is making him nervous. We tried being nice first, Malik continues, because humans actually like peace better than war. It's more efficient. It lets us focus on building things instead of destroying them. We thought maybe other species would appreciate that approach. Commander Washington's fingers start moving across her communication device, typing in codes and sending messages to places the aliens can't see. Whatever she's doing, it's clear that people far away are now getting very important information. The Vorthak delegates, crystal creatures who usually click confidently, have gone completely silent. Their survival instincts, developed over millions of years, are screaming that they are in immediate danger. But the danger isn't coming from weapons or threats, it's coming from the sudden realization of what humans actually are underneath all that politeness. The thing is, Malik says, his smile never changing, humans have been studying warfare since before we invented writing. We turned fighting into a science. We learned how to break things so efficiently that we scared ourselves. That's why we became peaceful, not because we couldn't fight, but because we were too good at it. The room's air recycling systems are working overtime, trying to process all the fear chemicals that different species are releasing. Heart rates are spiking across multiple alien delegations as their bodies prepare for fight or flight responses. But here's what we discovered during our little experiment, Malik continues conversationally. When humans try to be nice, other species think we're weak. When we offer compromise, you see it as surrender. When we show patience, you mistake it for fear. Commander Washington finishes whatever she was typing and looks up at her ambassador with a slight smile. Messages have been sent. Preparations that were made months ago are now being activated. So we're done being nice, Malik says simply, his tone still friendly but now carrying undertones that make every alien in the room want to hide. Suddenly, loud warning sirens start blaring throughout the entire space station. Red lights flash in the corridors outside the chamber, and emergency announcements echo through the halls in dozens of alien languages. But Ambassador Malik Thompson doesn't seem bothered by the noise at all. If anything, he looks more relaxed than he has all day. He starts talking about human history like he's discussing the weather or what he had for breakfast. His voice stays calm and conversational, which somehow makes what he's saying even more terrifying. Let me tell you what humans are really like, Malik begins, walking slowly around the chamber as he speaks. For thousands and thousands of years, we did nothing but fight each other. We got so good at war that we turned it into an exact science. We studied the best ways to break things, hurt people, and win battles no matter what the cost. The alien delegates listen with growing horror as he continues. They're starting to realize that everything they thought they knew about humans was completely wrong. We nearly blew up our own planet 12 different times, Malik says casually, like he's mentioning that it rained yesterday. Not by accident, on purpose. We built weapons so powerful that they could have killed every living thing on Earth. And we came very close to using them. War Chief Darius makes a low growling sound. His species are warriors too, but they've never heard of anything like what this human is describing. The idea of a species almost destroying their own world on purpose is beyond their understanding. But here's the thing about human warfare, Malik continues, his tone still friendly and educational. We don't just fight until we get tired and give up. We fight until we win, no matter how long it takes or what we have to sacrifice. When humans go to war, we use everything, our entire society, all our resources, every bit of technology we have. Commander Keisha Washington holds up her communication device, showing Malik something on the screen. He nods and keeps talking. For example, he says, like he's sharing an interesting fun fact, there are currently human warships surrounding the Scarith homeworld. They've been there for weeks, completely invisible, just waiting for my signal. The massive war chief goes completely still. His reptilian eyes widen as he realizes what this means. His people's most important planet, the heart of their entire civilization, is under threat right now. The bird-like Zephyrian delegate tries to say something, but his translation machine starts making weird stuttering noises. It can't figure out how to translate human concepts like total warfare and complete destruction, because these ideas are so extreme that most alien languages don't even have words for them. We also have detailed plans for dealing with every single species in this room, Malik mentions almost as an afterthought. Not because we want to hurt you, but because humans always prepare for the worst possible outcome. We call it contingency planning. Several alien delegates start making panicked sounds. They're realizing that while they thought humans were weak and harmless, Earth's people have been quietly studying them, learning their weaknesses, and preparing for potential conflicts. The thing is, Malik continues with that same apologetic smile, we really did try to be nice first. Humans actually prefer peace because it's so much easier than war. When we're not fighting, we can focus on building amazing things, exploring space, growing food, creating art, and making life better for everyone. Commander Washington quietly reports that messages are coming in from around the galaxy. Human forces that have been hidden for months are now revealing themselves, and the scope of their presence is shocking even to the most military-minded alien species. But you all kept pushing, Malik says, sounding genuinely sad about it. You treated our kindness like weakness. You thought our patience meant we were afraid. You mistook our preference for peace as an inability to fight. The emergency alarms are still blaring, but now the aliens understand what they're really warning about. This isn't a technical malfunction or a minor crisis. This is the sound of the galaxy discovering that they've been sharing space with the most dangerous species any of them have ever encountered. We're really sorry it came to this, Malik says, and he actually sounds like he means it. We genuinely wanted to be friends with everyone. The emergency meeting ends faster than anyone has ever seen a Galactic Council session finish. In just 20 minutes, everything changes completely. War Chief Darius, the massive Scarith leader who had been so confident earlier, now speaks in a much quieter voice. He formally announces that his people are giving up their claim to New Geneva, saying there were mistakes in how we understood the territory laws. But that's not all. 3 other major disputes that have been dragging on for months suddenly get resolved, and every single one ends up favoring humanity. Planets that aliens claimed belonged to them are now officially recognized as human territory. Trade routes that had been blocked are suddenly opened. Mining rights that had been disputed are now clearly in human hands. As the alien delegates start leaving the chamber, they move much faster than usual. But something interesting happens. Several of them actually approach Ambassador Malik Thompson before they go. They're carrying new trade agreements, offering much better deals than they had proposed before. Some are even suggesting partnerships that would have been unthinkable just an hour ago. The crystal-like Vorthak representative, who had been complaining about human farming earlier, quietly walks up to Malik with a very different attitude. Her voice is respectful now, almost nervous. Is it true, she asks in a whisper, that humans have detailed files about every species in the council? Plans for dealing with all of us? Malik's answer is perfect. His voice is still gentle and friendly, but his words carry a clear message. We don't keep attack plans for our friends, he says with that same pleasant smile. But we've learned something important. Real friendship requires both sides to actually want it. The meaning is crystal clear. Humans will treat you like a friend if you act like one. But if you choose to be an enemy, well, they're prepared for that too. Commander Keisha Washington starts packing up their diplomatic materials, and she notices something amazing. Throughout the entire meeting, most alien species had barely looked at the human delegation. They acted like humans weren't important enough to pay attention to. But now, as aliens walk past their table, every single one nods respectfully. Some even bow slightly. It's incredible how much the galaxy's attitude toward us has changed, Keisha observes, watching a group of bird-like delegates who had been ignoring them earlier now offering polite greetings. Malik adjusts his uniform collar and prepares to head back to Earth. Humans always wanted to be liked by everyone, he says thoughtfully. We would have preferred if the galaxy saw us as friends rather than threats. But we've learned something important. Sometimes respect matters more than being liked. As their shuttle leaves the space station and heads toward the jump gate that will take them home, long-range sensors pick up something interesting. The human fleet that had been hidden throughout the sector is still there. Hundreds of advanced warships maintaining their positions around key worlds and installations. They're not attacking or threatening anyone, but they're making sure everyone knows they exist. It's a clear message. Human politeness was always a choice, not a weakness. For 18 months, humanity had tried a new approach to galactic politics. They attempted to handle everything through pure diplomacy, compromise, and kindness. They genuinely wanted to prove that conflicts could be resolved without threats or violence. They hoped that other species would appreciate this approach and respond with the same level of respect and cooperation. The experiment failed completely. Instead of appreciating human patience, other species saw it as weakness. Instead of responding to kindness with kindness, they became more aggressive and demanding. They pushed harder and harder, testing to see how much they could get away with. But now the galaxy understands the truth. Human courtesy was never surrender, it was simply the better option that Earth's people offered before showing everyone what the alternative looked like. The age of humanity's unlimited patience has ended, but not because humans gave up. It ended because the galaxy finally learned what they had been dealing with all along. The most dangerous species in the galaxy had been playing nice. Now everyone knows what happens when they stop.